So guys, what's going on? Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, we've just got news that Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos has been cancelled. Apparently Lopez has failed a drugs. Got that wrong. Teofimo Lopez has tested positive for COVID, and the fight is now off. And the fight is now, I think it's been rescheduled for like August now, which it's a shame. I was looking forward to that fight. You know, it's been cancelled now, so it was 4 days. So talking about August, you know, that's far, far away, far, far away. So we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait for that fight. It's sad because like I said, I think people were looking forward for that. They were looking forward to George Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez, but now that's been cancelled. So we're gonna have to now wait for that till August, and it's a long wait as well. It's almost 2 months away. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions about it. What do you make of the news about the fight being cancelled? Let me know what you think. I'd love to know your opinion. Love to know what you think about Lopez Kambosos being cancelled. Also, I wanted to talk about the fight's been cancelled because Teofimo's tested positive for COVID. So the fight's off. It's off, unfortunately. Looking forward to that fight as well, to be fair. Looking forward to that fight. I was really looking forward to seeing Lopez v Kambosos. But, you know, I guess it is what it is. I guess it is what it is. You know, the fight's been postponed now till August. So we're going to have to wait till August. We're going to have to wait another 2 months. So July, August, yeah. So we're going to have to wait another 2 months for the fight, which is obviously not great because I think we were all looking forward to that one. It was a great dust-up. Also, it now means that we can't get Lopez and Haney quicker. I wanted to see Lopez, Haney, and then actually crown an undisputed champion. Even though a lot of people consider Lopez an undisputed champion anyway, but I think it would have just put all the doubt of there being, you know, a franchise and all of that rubbish that we have to put up with in today's boxing to the side. And, you know, Lopez will be an undisputed champ. But yeah, just waiting for some of you to get in here. Okay, so why was the fight cancelled? Also, I wanted to talk about Canelo and Mayweather. I'm waiting for more people to join the stream. Hopefully more people join the stream, and then we can get people's opinion about whether they think Canelo can be greater. I want to hopefully more of you join, and then we can get more people in here, and then I can send the link, and then you can join me, and we can have a little discussion, a little debate about this. A little debate if you want to come on camera. So yeah, news. We were all looking forward to that fight. We were all looking forward to a good fight, and unfortunately the fight's been cancelled. It's off, and we're gonna have to wait now till August. When have they rescheduled? Let me just have a quick look. When have they rescheduled that fight? 1 second. Let me just have a quick look. So it says here, Teofimo test positive, fight moved to August 14th. So August 14th, the fight has been moved to August 14th. So that fight is now going to take place August 14th, which is almost 2 months. So literally 2 months from now, which is disappointing because I think we were all looking forward to that. We were all looking forward to that fight as well. So yeah, it's disappointing to say the least. Canelo's legacy will always be questioned because of the positive PED tests. Yeah. Yeah, there's always that asterisk and question mark around his name. What do you make of the Lopez Kambosos fight situation? That's disappointing, to say the least. Disappointing. I was expecting. I was definitely I thought that fight would be a great fight. And unfortunately now it's been cancelled. So we're gonna have to wait till August, which is looking forward to that. I was actually going to do a live stream for that fight as well. Go live and actually live stream that, but unfortunately we're not going to get it. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get it this weekend. We're gonna have to wait for it till August. All right, okay. Normally we have quite a few people in. Today there's not as many. There's not without the people. There's not going to be enough questions. I don't know where everyone is. I was expecting more people to be in the live here, but there's not as many people in the live. I was expecting there to be quite a few people. I don't know where people are. Maybe they're busy. They're busy away, so let's just wait. Maybe they'll come on after. But yeah. So, guys, what do you make of Lopez Kambosos being cancelled? What do you make of the news? The fight's been cancelled because Lopez has tested positive for COVID. I didn't get a notification. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. You should do, but I don't know what's going on. Should do. But yeah, if you press the bell icon, you should get. I don't know what goes on with this. I don't know what goes on. Okay, revolt. Canelo will only be knocking out all-time greats if he can defeat legit light heavies like Beterbiev. It's like how Manny went up to welter and light middle. Floyd should have campaigned at middle. Yeah, I think Floyd was too small for middleweight. I think, imagine Floyd fighting Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin was too big. So yeah, that would have been too much of a jump for him. Too big a jump. So Jet, I saw the live on my recommended. All right, okay. I don't know why. It should have been. It should give you a notification when I go live. It should give all the subscribers notification. I don't know why it's not. I don't know what the issue is. Junior Delgado. Well, Floyd has a record for beating his. Whoa! That's harsh. That's harsh. Yeah. So. Okay, Achilles MJ says, why is Floyd the standard? In any other era, Floyd wouldn't have been undefeated. Floyd should not be the standard. His career isn't even better than Manny Pacquiao. Better individually, not legacy. Fair enough. Good point. Achilles makes a very good point here. Why is Floyd Mayweather's the standard? Probably because he was undefeated. He never got defeated. And people look at him as the benchmark, whereas Manny Pacquiao went up more weight classes, put himself at risk more, put himself in danger a lot more, but he had a great career. Manny Pacquiao had obviously a great career as well. So yeah, it's a matter of opinions really, who you think's got a better career. But yeah, I do agree. I do think Manny Pacquiao's career was sensational. It's hard to say who was. Manny Pacquiao moved up 8 weight classes, which is phenomenal, to say the least. That's a phenomenal career. To move up 8 weight classes, that's ridiculous, really. When you think about it, 8 weight classes. That's why Manny is greater than Floyd, because Manny is a former flyweight champion. Imagine Chocolatito fighting Thurman. So Floyd could have fought Golovkin. Cotto and Canelo were middleweights. Yeah. Cotto and Canelo were middleweights. Yeah, they were bigger guys. But Floyd beat Cotto and Canelo. Hi, Hi, Imran. Hi, Richard. Yeah, the fight's off. Teofimo tested positive for COVID. Sad news because I was really looking forward to that fight. Who did you guys have in that fight? I personally thought that Kambosos had a good shot. I would have picked Lopez by late stoppage. But unfortunately, the fight's off and we're not going to get the fight now, which is disappointing to say the least. Disappointing to say the least, because I was really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. And the fight's just off. So yeah, that's disappointing. Disappointing to say the least. Lopez is really exciting. But unfortunately, you know, you test positive and that's it. The fight's gone. That's the problem with today's climate. That's the problem with today's climate. If Canelo beats Bivol and Beterbiev, he'll be an all-time great. Create his own legacy. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Jet, just before I answer William's question, Jet, yeah, it's been rescheduled for August 14th. So August 14th, but, you know, we were expecting that fight this week, and I was going to do a live stream for that fight as well. And now that fight's been rescheduled. Yeah, August 14th has been rescheduled for, but I wanted that fight this week. I was really looking forward to that. William Gomez, let me just answer the question. If Canelo beats Bivol and Beterbiev, he'll be an all-time great, create his own. If Canelo beats Bivol and Beterbiev, then you're talking about serious legacy right there. You're talking about an all-time great. Yeah, you're looking at something special. And I do believe he's capable of beating. I definitely think he beats Bivol. I think for me, the Beterbiev fight is a tough one. Definitely. I think that was a dangerous fight for him. Yeah. So Achilles MJ says, Cotto was not a true middleweight either. Did you see him in the ring v Floyd? Canelo was also young and catchweight at 152. That's not this version of Canelo. Credit to Floyd, but doesn't tell the whole story. Yeah, I do agree. Cotto wasn't a true middleweight. Yeah, he wasn't, but he did beat Sergio Martinez, who was a monster. Although Martinez might have been a little bit past it, but that was after Floyd anyway, I think. But Canelo was a young catchweight at 50. Yeah, he was young. He was green. I'll give you that. Canelo was young. But again, Floyd was old as well, 36 at that point. You know, Floyd does say that I was 36. And that wasn't Floyd's peak years. Floyd's peak years was at like when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, when he was knocking those guys out. Floyd back then was like more defensive wizard at that point. He wasn't the pretty boy flashy combinations, you know, that Floyd left. So yeah, Jet, it is a shame. It's a shame. It's a damn shame, because I was looking forward to that fight. Looking forward to it, and it would have been a great fight as well. But, you know, it is what it is. Floyd beat Canelo and Cotto at 154. I just thought Floyd didn't have the guts to campaign at middleweight. That's just my take. He's careful to lose that. Oh, yeah. But do you really think he was big enough to campaign at middleweight? Do you think he was big enough? I don't think he was. I think like Golovkin and that would have been like a mismatch, really. It's too big. Richard Brown says, what do you think of Conor Ben Granados? Imran, I think it's a good fight. Ben needs a few more fights like this before a big step up. Yeah, it's a good fight. Granados is a tough guy. He brings it, and it's a tough fight. It depends. Granados is a guy that's past his prime, I believe, but it's a tough fight, and it's a good step up. It's a good step up for Conor Ben. He needs these kind of step ups. I think it'll be definitely be a good fight. It'll be definitely be good to watch. I think. I think both guys are aggressive, come forward, tough fighters. So I'm expecting a good fight. I'm expecting a good war. I think Granados is better than Samuel Vargas, so I think it'll be a tougher fight. But it should be a fight that he wins, really. If Canelo becomes undisputed in light heavyweight, I think Canelo will be greater than Floyd. Yeah, but that again, that's a tough division to become undisputed. You've got Joe Smith, you've got Beterbiev and Bivol. That's a tough division, man. That's a tough division. We're talking about a very, very hard light heavyweight division, and Canelo would be undersized to say the least in that division, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I do think Canelo can beat all of those guys, but it'll be hard. Canelo is fighting in weight classes in which the fighters are natural to those weight classes. Some fighters fight in higher weight classes, but we boxers who also come from bottom, big difference. Yeah, Canelo's fighting. I do think Billy Joe came from middleweight. I think Caleb Plant is a natural 168. Callum Smith is a natural 168. Benavidez is a natural 168. Kovalev was a natural 175. But Kovalev was a little bit past his prime. However, Beterbiev and Bivol are there at light heavyweight. That would put Canelo on another level. That would put Canelo, I'm talking another level. Now, No KP says, how are you, brother? He says, could it be Teofimo was struggling to make weight? Possibly. Possibly. You don't know, right? You don't know, right? Now, the official was that it was because of COVID, but we just don't know. We just don't know. Maybe Lopez was struggling to make weight. I don't know, but he's tested positive for COVID, and that's why the fights off has been rescheduled for August 14th. So yeah, it's disappointing, man, because I was looking forward to that one. I was really looking forward to seeing Teofimo v. I was really looking forward to it. Sorry, Teofimo v. Kambosos. What a fight that was. I think it would have been a dynamite fight as well. And unfortunately, we're not going to get to see it. And I was going to go live for that as well. So I'm disappointed to say the least. I'm disappointed to say the least. Yeah, I forgot. Salute, Imran. I really appreciate your live videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash that like button, I'd appreciate it. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it if you can smash that like button. So Revolt says, Lopez v. Kambosos being cancelled is a letdown. The coming weekend should have been a triple blockbuster. Yeah, it is a letdown. It is a lot letdown, to say the least. It's disappointing as well. Disappointing. Stephen Triot says, Wa alaikum assalam. Salute to the chat. Canelo will never be better than Floyd. Yep, you're probably right. So Raymond says, fight is off due to Lopez being positive for COVID-19. Yep. And it's been rescheduled for August 14th. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link in the chat for you guys. So anyone that wants to come on and have a debate about Floyd, and I'm going to do these, like, I'm going to have debates with you guys about if this fighter can be greater than that fighter, etc. So if you want to come on, I've just posted a link in the chat. So if you want to come on and have a chat, be my guest. You can come on and we can have a chat about this. Smash the like button, guys, as well, while you're at it. Okay, Brent Simon says, Floyd was a harder fight when he was older in his career. He was pure defense. When he was younger, he engaged more with guys and got touched up like Castillo and Zabjuda, etc. Yeah, Floyd. That's because Floyd took more risks when he was at those weight classes because he knew he could. When he moved up weight, obviously those guys are bigger, stronger. They punch harder, right? If he took more risk, he could get knocked out. That's why he became a defensive wizard. You can't be more aggressive. You can't be more aggressive with bigger, stronger men, can you? Because the chances are you're gonna get hurt against bigger, stronger guys. So he took the wise option, that's why Manny Pacquiao got knocked out against Marquez, and because Manny Pacquiao had an aggressive style, his style didn't really change. It stayed the same, and that's why you have a greater chance against bigger men to get hurt. Even though Manny Pacquiao, he got knocked out to Marquez, and Marquez was actually naturally not a big guy. He was actually Manny Pacquiao's kind of size. The guys that he was really big, really supposed to be really big for him, he actually handled them with ease. Achilles, Brent Simon's correct. He's arguably lost to Floyd. Floyd was better post 30. Yeah, he was better. He was more defensive and harder to beat. Yeah, just realized I'm in the live. Lol. Eric Lorenzo, how are you? Okay, Raymond says Inoue is fighting this weekend. That's going to be a good fight. But yeah, I was looking forward to the Teofimo Lopez and Kambosos fight. yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. I was really looking forward to that fight. Thank you, Eric, for smashing the like button. Everybody in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I would appreciate it. And if you want to come on camera, I posted the link. If you want to ask for the link, I'll post it again. Just ask for it. But the link is in the chat. So if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. So Stephen Triot says, can probably be better than Floyd is in handpicking his opponents. Wow. I don't think Canelo's fighting champions now. So, I'm not sure he's handpicking opponents. He's fighting undefeated world champions. The answer to the question in the title is hell no to the no. Dutch is not having it. He's not having it. He's not having Canelo being better than Floyd. I agree. I think Floyd for me is just he's unbelievable. So yeah, I don't agree. But if Canelo does beat Beterbiev and Bivol, we've got a debate. That's why I want you guys to come on camera, and then we can have a debate about this. Brent Simon says correct. Floyd lost arguably to Castillo. He was better post 30. Yeah, he did, but he also looked phenomenal at 135. He battered guys as well. So I don't know. Floyd was really, really good though, man. Very, very good. Gifted fighter. Calypso 8 says, did Floyd ever fight guys with longer reach? Who had longer reach? I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys at 147, Mosley must have had a longer reach, but Floyd had Floyd had a fairly big reach. I'm not sure. Let me think of some of the fights that he had. Maidana, Victor Ortiz. No, not really. Okay, so what did he say? What did he say? If Canelo fights and beats Charlo, Andrade, and Spence, then maybe. Wow. So you're not even talking about Bivol or Beterbiev. You're talking about guys that are like Charlo, Andrade, and Spence. What about, so if he beats Bivol and Beterbiev, that wouldn't count for you. What about Bivol and Beterbiev? They're for me harder fights than Spence, Charlo, and Andrade. They're bigger men, stronger men. To me, that would be far greater. Canelo would be a massive favorite to beat Spence. Spence is a smaller guy. 145, 147. Dutch. Till then, Canelo is a pound for pound underachiever. Wow. Pound for pound underachiever. Wow. Prime Canelo would stop Prime Floyd in the mid-rounds. Shots being fired here. Prime Canelo would stop Prime Floyd in the mid-rounds. Wow. Richard Brown. Isn't Luke Campbell moving up to 140? How about Campbell v. O'Hara Davis, or Campbell v. Ponce, or O'Hara v. Ponce? A few interesting. You know what? I'm really impressed with that Ponce. I don't think Campbell wants to go near that Ponce. Campbell's not even a big puncher at 135. That Ponce he's relentless, Richard. He's relentless. He battered Lewis Ritson. Now, could Campbell's boxing ability? I don't know. I think Ponce might be too strong. I think Ponce is ready to fight on the world-class fighters of that division and give them a good fight. I was really impressed with Ponce. Really impressed. Really, really impressed. I would like to see Ponce against Regis Prograis. I think that's a fight. I think that's a great fight. So Steven says, the toughest fight for Floyd was the drunken master Emmanuel Augustus. Yeah, even he said that. Even Floyd said that Emmanuel Augustus was his toughest fight. Marco Antonio says, hi, Imran, sir. You're an expert in boxing, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Subham Baig is in the chat. Mayweather will always be better than Canelo. Do you agree, guys? If Subhan, I ask you a question. If Mayweather, right? If Canelo beats Beterbiev and Bivol, would you not say that puts Canelo on par? Let me know your opinion. Jet, are you still going live even without a Lopez fight? Possibly, Jet. Possibly. Depends. I'm going to be going live. I've been quite busy this week. So from next week or the end of this week, I'm going to be going live quite a bit. So you're going to be going live virtually, trying to go live every day. But I've just been really busy. I've been really busy of late. This week, after this week, I'm going to be quite free. So yeah, then I'm going to be going live a lot more, hopefully. So Subham Baig says, Prime Mayweather could easily beat Prime Canelo. Canelo might have all the power, but Mayweather best defensive boxer with pop shots. Yeah, I do agree there. Mayweather was defensively very sound, very gifted, very hard to hit. And yeah, I do agree. Mayweather was a very complete fight, but Canelo right now looks a monster. You know, the way he walks down, how educated he is with his feet, his punching power, you know, his feints. Canelo looks a beast right now, but that's probably because he's not fighting anybody as intelligent or as gifted as Floyd. So, you know, there's Floyd Mayweather's a unique fighter, so it's not like he's fighting guys as good as Floyd. So it's hard to say, but I do think he beats everyone right now, Canelo, at 168 and 160. The more risks you take, the higher chances you have to lose. Floyd fought less, even once a year at one point. He even retired. He picked his spots. If Chavez Sr. did that, he would have retired undefeated. Fair enough. Chavez Sr. was a really good fighter, but Chavez Sr., you know, I believe he was beaten by Pernell. You know, Pernell was world class as well. Pernell Whitaker was an unbelievable fighter. What a fighter Pernell Whitaker was. He was special. He was special. Guys, smash the like button. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I appreciate it. Smash the like button, please. I really appreciate it if you all smash the like button. But yeah, in terms of Chavez was a great fighter, but Pernell, oh, what a fighter Pernell was. I just read on ESPN, wow, terrible news about Teofimo. Very terrible news. I was looking forward to that fight. I was looking forward to watching Teofimo Lopez v. George Kambosos. Like I said, I was so looking forward to it. And boom, it just gets cancelled like that. And you know, oh man, I was really looking forward to that. Guys, I'm gonna leave the link. I'm gonna leave the link in the chat. Anyone that wants to come on can come on. I want to have a chat about Mayweather and Canelo, because I got asked about this. I got asked about this in I got asked about this on my Instagram, and they said, Imran, can you do a debate about Canelo, if Canelo can be greater than Floyd? And I said, all right, you know, come on, and I want to get some of you on camera to have a debate. So I've left the link in the chat. So if you want to come on, you can come on. Let's have a debate about this. Now we're back on Floyd. He fought Diego Chico Corrales. Diego Corrales was a very good fighter. I think Oscar might have had a longer reach as well, as Jet pointed out. I think Oscar was bigger than Floyd, naturally bigger than Floyd as well. Oscar, you know, fought Bernard Hopkins, man. Bernard Hopkins was massive, but Bernard was too big for Oscar, and he stopped him. But how can you be a debate if Canelo cleans 175? That's unfair. You're asking Canelo, who's a 5'8" and 70 reach, to do something incredible. That the bar for Floyd, not fair, brother. I'm not asking him. I'm saying if he does do that, where does that place him? I'm not saying that he has to do that. I'm saying if he does do that, does that surpass Canelo? Does Canelo surpass Floyd? I'm not saying he has to do that. I'm saying if he does do that, does that put him past Floyd? What do you guys think? Give me your opinions. If you want to come on camera, come on camera. Do you think if Canelo beats Beterbiev and Bivol, does he surpass Floyd in terms of all-time great status, or do you think, nah? That's what I'm asking. Where do you think? Diego and Oscar had longer reach. And by the way, the Oscar fight was very close with Floyd. That was a very close fight. And let's be honest, that was a past prime Oscar. But that was a very close fight. Very close fight. Very, very close fight. See, Steven says no. So Steven says, in his opinion, even if Canelo was to beat Bivol and Beterbiev, it doesn't put him past Floyd. Do you guys agree with that? So see, everyone has their own opinion. Is Canelo even going to fight Beterbiev? I hope so. I hope so. That would be a great fight. I want to see that fight. I prefer that fight over Andrade and Charlo. Everybody keeps piping up about Charlo and Andrade. I'd rather see him fight Beterbiev. That does a lot more for Canelo's legacy and greatness. He'd be fighting a unified light heavyweight champion who's a force right now. You know, right now, Beterbiev is seen a monster at light heavyweight. He's seen as a guy that's, like, some people consider him unbeatable at light heavyweight. They think he's going to walk through everyone. So let's see him fight. That would be a great fight, by the way. I would love to see that fight. Regis would smash him. So you're talking about Ponce. Would Regis beat Ponce? I'd like to see it. Let's see it. You know, he may do. Regis may do. Regis is a good fighter, but I would love to see that fight. If it's prime Floyd v prime Canelo, the fight would never happen. The different weight classes. There you hit it on there. Different weight classes, and Floyd wouldn't fight him. He didn't even want to fight Pac. He instead chose to defame him for. You know what? That's why I'm saying that they're different weight classes. But what I'm saying is, can Canelo go down greater than Floyd? Even though Floyd beat Canelo, if Canelo was to beat Beterbiev, beat Bivol, can he take himself to another level? That's what I'm saying. Maybe, maybe not. Loma is back. He's fighting Nakatani. That's a good fight. And it's live on Sky Sports, guys. It's live here in the UK on Sky Sports. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to that because that's live on Sky Sports. And that's the good thing with the Sky and the Top Rank deal now. We're gonna see those fights live on Sky Sports, which is great news. Great news that we're gonna get all those big fights on Sky Sports, which is, like I said, great news. BoxRec has the reach wrong for Corrales. To be honest, BoxRec has a lot of things wrong. I want to see Regis and Gary Antoine Russell. What about Regis and Ramirez? That's a good fight. Regis and Ramirez. Who wins that fight? It's a good fight. I think Prograde probably wins that one. It says 70 instead of 73. So just Suisse is on. How's it going, just Suisse?
Hey man, how's it going?
Who wins that fight? I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. I'm Chewy. I don't know if you remember me.
Yeah, sure. I remember you, man. I remember you.
Yeah.
Floyd, do me a favor. You know your background noise. If you can turn that off, because I can hear echoes.
You know what? I'm gonna move from the. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, man. In my opinion, I think Canelo will be greater than Floyd. Only if he becomes like right now at this moment. I think that I would say Floyd is greater right now at this moment, but if Canelo be undisputed at light heavyweight, I think he will be greater than Floyd, in my opinion.
I agree, man. I agree. I think that would be some feat, man. If he was to become undisputed at light heavyweight, that would be a great feat. And I think you're right there. I do agree. I think you're right. You have to give it. If Canelo was to become undisputed at light heavyweight, beating Beterbiev, beating Bivol, beating everybody, then yeah, man, that's a great achievement. Remember, a small guy cleaning up at light heavyweight against. Yeah. But do you think he beats Beterbiev?
Right. Yeah, because right now at this moment I would say Floyd is just definitely better than Canelo, like greater. But if I would say, in my opinion, if Canelo becomes undisputed at light heavyweight, that would be huge because he's like only like 5'8", and like him beating like this big guy, like bigger guys than him, I mean that will put him. I would say Duran and Chavez Sr. and Canelo are the three greatest Latino fighters, but I would say Canelo will be better than Chavez Sr. and Duran.
What do you make of Marquis Dan 123? Thanks for the super chat. It says anything Canelo does only elevates Floyd. What do you think about that? Because Floyd beat Canelo. Do you agree with that? That anything that Canelo does elevates Floyd?
I would kind of agree with that. I would say I agree with that because you have to take in consideration that when Floyd fought Canelo, he was like 23. Canelo was 23, and right now at this moment he has gotten so much better. So I would say he does elevate Floyd's legacy because still a 23-year-old version of Canelo still beat Trout. So
Yeah.
I would say yes. It will elevate Floyd's legacy.
Trout was a good fighter as well. Trout was a very good fighter.
Yeah, yeah. And Canelo beat him when he was like 22.
Yeah, yeah, that was and Lara. How old was Canelo when he fought Lara?
Yeah, that fight, man. That fight was a little controversial in my opinion. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like I had I would say Canelo did pull it off by a
Mm,
bit, but it was controversial. At
mm,
same as the Triple G fight, the first fight,
yeah,
I thought that the Triple G won that fight, but in the
yeah,
second
yeah.
fight, I think Canelo won that fight. So I would
Mm,
say like every fighter in history has a controversial fights.
mhm.
Floyd had that controversial fight with what's his name,
Castillo.
Castillo. Yeah, the number one fight, the
What do you
first
think
fight
about the
that was
Maidana fight?
controversial.
Maidana.
Yeah, the first fight, the first Maidana fight was
Yeah.
very close, man. I think
Mm,
I don't know if I mean I had it as a draw in my opinion when I saw it,
mm,
and then the second fight I believe that Floyd did beat Maidana, but
yeah,
like I said, Floyd has some controversial fights as well. They're criticizing Canelo having
yeah,
controversial fights, but Floyd has controversial fights as well. All the greats have
yeah.
controversial fights.
What about Oscar?
Even Chavez
What
Senior,
about Floyd and Oscar?
Floyd and Oscar. Yeah, that fight was pretty close as well. I think Floyd did beat Oscar, but I would say that Floyd did beat Oscar, but it
Mm.
was pretty close too.
Split decision.
Yeah, it was a decision.
Yeah, split. It was split. It was very, very close. Very, very
Yeah,
close fight. You know,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna ask you some questions. So it says here, Achilles says, I can't say if Canelo will have a greater legacy than Floyd. So hard to debate that, but I rather debate how Floyd's career is more about perception than substance. Floyd and is it De La Hoya had same reach. So basically, what he's saying is that it's hard to debate about Floyd and Canelo's legacy, but I rather debate about how Floyd's career is more perception than substance. So I guess he's trying to say that maybe Floyd maybe did a lot of cherry picking, fought a lot of guys at the right time. What do you make of that when people say that about Floyd?
Nah, man. I would say like you have to follow Floyd since the beginning, since day
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I mean Floyd had some like great wins with versus Corrales, and then he was fighting Gotti, and man, he outclassed Gotti. He had to
Mm,
know
mm.
that Floyd. I mean, Floyd by the end of his career was like at first they call him Pretty Boy, right? Because
Yeah, yeah,
he was more aggressive, but then after that they call him Money. So he was more defensive. So I mean, I would say we have to follow Floyd's earlier in his career until he retired because earlier in his career he had some great wins.
mm,
By the end, I would say when he fought Berto, I think that was his last fight, not
mm,
counting the McGregor fight.
mm,
But I would say I would probably. I mean, he should have fight Keith Thurman instead of Berto. I would say. But I
mm,
mean, we don't have to. I mean, Floyd. Man, Floyd is great, man. That
mm.
guy. He was really great.
Yeah, he was,
But
man. What do you make of the Teofimo Kambosos being postponed?
yeah, I mean that kind of sucked. I was planning to watch the fight, but I mean, unfortunately, it got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to watch the Wilder versus Fury fight.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I really want to watch that one.
Who do you
Yeah,
think wins that?
I think Fury will beat Wilder again.
Do you
I
think?
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but not.
I think I would say he will stop him. I would say Fury will stop Wilder in the third fight, in my opinion. But you never know, because I mean, Wilder can freaking punch.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, he can.
if Fury doesn't concentrate or do 100% in his fight, like in his second fight, I think he can get dropped.
Yeah, yeah, he can, man.
Yeah, but
Wilder's very dangerous.
yeah, I mean, also Joshua. I believe that Joshua has a better resume than
Yeah,
Fury and what's the
yeah.
other guy? Fury and
Wilder.
Wilder. Yeah, yeah. I think Joshua, for me, in my opinion, is the number one heavyweight. I think if Joshua fights either of those two, Wilder or Fury, I think Joshua will beat him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think I
Fair
think
enough.
I think Joshua's just very very skillful, man. In my opinion, Joshua is just he's the number one heavyweight, man.
Fair enough. Do you think Joshua beats Usyk?
Yeah, I think so. I think Usyk was better at cruiserweight, but now that
Yeah.
he went to a heavyweight, he has
Mm,
looked a little not as good as he was in cruiserweight. So I
mm,
think he's just a little too small for that weight. So I think
mm,
Joshua will have problems in the fight. I would say
mm.
Joshua, but I think Joshua will beat him.
Yeah. What other fight? So we've got what other fight have we got? What
The
other
the
fight?
Mario Barrios versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, yes, yes.
That
What a
fight, man.
fight.
A lot of people are criticizing Tank, man, for that fight, but you have to take in consideration that
What other fight? So we've got
Mario Barrios, it's big, man. That guy's like 6 feet tall,
Mario Barrios versus
yeah.
Gervonta Davis. Yes, Mike,
And
yes. Turn off your can you turn off your microphone? Not microphone, but you got the volume on.
Oh really?
Mario Barrios. Mike,
Okay.
are you in the Yes, Mike?
Mike,
Oh yeah, that's better.
can you
That's
hear
better.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So what were you saying, just Suisse? Choi, what were you saying? Choi, are you there? Guys, you there? Mike? Don't know what's gone on there. Guys, you there? Don't know what's gone on there. So TG Boxing says anything that AJ does elevates Andy Ruiz. Yeah, true. Andy Ruiz, but I beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch. That's the thing. He beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch. So I don't know about that. Guys, are we there? Joy? I don't know. I think they've disappeared. Better than Duran. Who's better than Duran? I disagree. I disagree.
Hey, Imran, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. You all right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you make
So
of?
yeah,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, about
Barrios.
the Mario Barrios and Tank
Yeah.
Davis. Yeah, I feel like Tank Davis has get criticized a lot. The fact that he's fighting not a supposedly he's I will say he has the interim WBA title,
Hmm.
Mario Barrios, but
Yeah.
man, the guy is 6 feet tall, man, and Tank
Yeah.
Davis is like 5'5". So I
Yeah.
would say this is the biggest how do you say
Yeah.
that the biggest test for Tank. In this fight, I wouldn't be surprised if Mario Barrios beat him,
Yeah.
but I would say Tank. I still favor Tank because he's so powerful. See, he kind of
Mm.
reminds me a little bit of Canelo, because
Yeah.
Canelo is not too tall, but he's strong, and Tank Davis is the same. He's not too tall, but he's very very strong.
Yeah. I agree. What about
Better than Duran?
say that again?
What's it better than Duran? Sorry, I was testing the mic. Can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mike
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay. Okay. Who says better than Duran? Floyd is
Who are
better
you
than
talking
Duran?
about?
Oh, I'm reading the
Oh
question
yeah.
here.
Better than Duran. I disagree.
No, that's not even close.
I think they're talking about Canelo there.
Oh no, Floyd nor Canelo are better than Duran. I mean, at least not at this point of their career. Floyd's already
Oh yeah.
retired, but Duran, what
Yeah.
Duran did, he's what most lists that you see all time greats. He's in the top 10 all time.
Yeah. He is. Yeah, he is. He is. I
So
agree.
that would
I
be
agree.
No,
almost impossible to do what he did.
I would say Duran at this moment, yeah, he's definitely better than Floyd and Canelo. I would say that Floyd fight Duran at 147. I would favor Duran, man. I think
Would you?
Duran was just too aggressive, and I think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
of
Duran would
course.
have beat Floyd.
147 down. I think Durant beats Floyd. 135, 147. After what he did to Sugar Ray Leonard, there's
Yeah.
no way Floyd beats Roberto Duran. Not that version of Roberto Duran, not the demonic Roberto Duran. If you're talking about I'm in the off season weighing 200 pounds, fat ass Roberto Duran, and then comes back, then anybody could beat that guy. But if you're talking about 100% focused, Roberto Duran, it's hard for anyone to beat that guy.
Yeah.
Anyone to beat that guy.
Mike, just a quick question. You know when
Yes.
Sugar Ray Leonard, right? He fought Duran the first time. Sugar Ray Leonard
Right.
tried to beat Duran at his own game. He tried to fight with him. He tried to have a war with him, and he ended up losing the fight. And then his brother told him to box in the second fight. You know, you can't have a war with this guy. You need to box him. And then he boxed him and kind of humiliated Duran in a way where he just Duran basically couldn't do anything with Sugar Ray. Do you think Floyd at 147 will just do what Sugar Ray did, but just because Floyd doesn't engage? We know that Floyd, especially at 147, didn't engage. Don't you think that Floyd would outbox Duran and make it?
That's an excellent question. The thing is though that there's a backstory. I don't know if you've seen some of the documentaries, but there's a backstory to the whole Roberto Duran Sugar Ray Leonard the part 2. Where Sugar Ray Leonard purposely said that that he purposely knew that Duran was kind of like he wasn't, whenever he wasn't fighting, he heard that he was ballooning up to like 200 pounds. He tried to make the fight as soon as possible, and then Duran was obviously getting a bigger payday. He couldn't say no to the fight. Duran didn't give he didn't give it can you curse here? Sorry. I just
yeah. Go on.
Okay, he didn't. Duran was the type of guy that he didn't give a shit, right? So he was like, all right, I'll take the fight. And I feel that during the fight, Duran, while the fight while they were fighting, Sugar Ray Leonard had a completely different approach, like you said. And in the fight, Duran probably figured out and said, there's no way I'm gonna beat him like this. And I think that's the reason why he quit. All the nonsense about him having a stomach ache and all these excuses that Duran had, I don't think that's the reason. There was a documentary where Duran recently, an interview with Duran that I heard in Spanish, where he basically admitted that part of the reason why he quit was because he just kind of felt like he didn't have it. So the analogy that I use is like when you see two kids playing a video game and you're getting your ass beat, and you instead of finishing the game, you're like, you know what, the hell with this, and you turn and you shut it off. And I feel like Duran was at that point during the fight where he said, you know what, I don't have it. Sugar Ray Leonard's in a zone right now. He's outboxing me. He's making it look bad. Instead of finishing the fight, I'm just gonna quit right here, and that's it. So to answer, how that relates to your question, the biggest difference between Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, is that Sugar Ray Leonard had other abilities that Floyd didn't necessarily have, and that's the power. That's the power aspect. Sugar Ray Leonard had the type of power to keep Duran honest, to keep him, at a certain distance, to where it's Duran didn't want to engage as much. We've seen Floyd fight even at 147. How many guys did he knock out?
Yeah,
that were around that size? Almost no one, right? So I don't see the fight playing out the same way. Does Floyd have the abilities to outbox Roberto Duran? Yes, he does. But I don't think Roberto Duran is going to have the issues or even the speed factor, the volume that Sugar Ray Leonard was able to throw. Floyd is more of a low activity, low punch output. He's going to pick his spots. He's going to move. He's going to stay in the ropes. A guy like Roberto Duran would love to fight a guy. In my opinion, stylistically, he would love to fight a guy like Floyd, because Floyd almost gives you that opening for you to kind of like maul him, get on top of him, get him in the ropes, and take advantage of him on the inside like that. I think it's a bad style matchup for Floyd.
Yeah.
And even if you look at Floyd's history, sorry to go on to just keep going, but if you look at Floyd's history, Castillo did the same thing. Oscar De La Hoya did something similar. Maidana did something similar. Even Cotto did something similar. He was using the jab and he was feinting him and pushing Floyd back. I don't think it's the same fight at all. Even though I feel like Floyd has similar skills, it's not the same fight at all for me.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you, actually, because You know what? I compared the Maidana fight, right? You know, Maidana literally had no respect for Floyd's power. He was literally walking him down, and he literally had no respect. He was taking all his shots, and he was coming back. And Maidana, obviously, I saw Maidana. I saw him against Kotelnik, but the first time Maidana got exposure here in the UK is when he fought Amir Khan. And Maidana in that fight got put down by Khan in the first round. Khan was able to help Maidana many times in that fight. But when Floyd fought Maidana, I felt like both fights, I don't feel like Floyd was ever able to hurt him, or even where I just don't think Maidana had any respect for his power whatsoever. And I just think Maidana he was relentless. He just kept walking forward and kept coming at Floyd. And Floyd was like, that first fight was very close. I know a lot of people say that Floyd won. I'm not saying he didn't win. I'm just saying that first fight was very, very close with Maidana.
I had Floyd winning.
Yeah. I think he won. I thought he won, but very close though.
But speaking of that second fight, if I'm not mistaken, Maidana actually hurt Floyd like in the second round, right before the round ended. I don't know if you noticed that. It was the second round. That was. Yes, when they said that he supposedly knocked out one of his tooth, which was I think it was like made up or something like that.
Yes.
So I think it's just stylistically. I just think Duran was a bad matchup for sure. Even not just Duran, but even the guys from that era. Tommy Hearns would have been a nightmare.
Yeah. Tommy Hearns knocked Duran out cold. Tommy Hearns was a monster. He knocked Duran out cold, didn't he? That was a horrible knockout.
I think I like the question that guy Achilles posed earlier, where he said about the perception versus the substance. I think that's part perception matters a lot in boxing, especially when you don't test yourself to a certain level. I think we're seeing it right now with Crawford, for example. There's a lot of people that, based on the eye test, based on what they think they see, they rank them super high. So they'll say, oh, he's the best pound for pound number one, right? Not history shows you, whether you go back 50, 60, 70 years, sometimes the most skilled fighters a lot of times actually end up losing to guys that were not even on their level. If you would have saw a guy like Muhammad Ali, who was a phenom, and you would have matched him up with a guy, like, Fisher has no chance against a guy. All kinds of problems. Even who's the other heavyweight? I forget his name. Who a lot of people claim that Ali lost all 3 fights to him.
Norton.
Ken Norton. Yes, Ken Norton. Ken Norton's another guy that maybe, you could say he didn't have that type of a skill level. We've seen it over and over. We've seen it with Roy Jones and Tarver. We've seen it with different fighters, with even Pernell Whitaker, who was super slick. I've seen him in fights where it was like, he didn't look as sharp. I mean, I think that's just part of the game. And I think that with Floyd, because of the approach that he had during his era, and the fact that he fought in a welterweight and hit when he was a welterweight in an era that wasn't deep, you can't compare. Even the De La Hoya era was better with an EPO Mosley, with a Oscar De La Hoya, with a Tito Trinidad, Ike Corte. That welterweight era would have given him way more issues. Oh, and Pernell Whitaker too. Oscar De La Hoya ended up fighting Pernell. That era would have given Floyd way more issues than the era that Floyd was in. Floyd's greatest opponent, supposedly, right, based on the perception during that time, his greatest opponent wasn't even a true welterweight in Manny Pacquiao, and you saw what happened in that fight. They didn't even fight when they were supposed to happen. So Manny Pacquiao's even smaller than Floyd. So if you take that Floyd Mayweather, put him in a different era, and let's just say he loses a fight, does that change my perception of Floyd? Maybe not necessarily in terms of his overall greatness. I would probably still rate him the same. But in the perception of a lot of people, just having one loss can change the way people look at your legacy. Big time. So the way he went about, I mean, this guy, he fought Oscar De La Hoya, right? Oscar De La Hoya was a flat-footed version. He was in the Trinidad version of De La Hoya at 147. That was still a good win, but that wasn't the best version of De La Hoya. After he became the cash cow, he started to kind of take control and manipulate a lot of things. He retired for almost 2 years. Obviously, we know what happened with the whole wife issue. He came back. He fought Marcus, who was smaller in 2 weight classes. He brought him up. Marcus had never fought at welterweight. He was at that point he was fighting once a year. He fought Ricky Hatton, who was also not a welterweight. He didn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao. He fought we know he fought Maidana, the same Maidana who was peppered, who was made look bad by a past prime Eric Morales prior to that, with one eye. With one eye. He fought Robert Guerrero. He fought Ortiz. The fight ended in the 4th round because of a controversial the cheap shot in the head bunt. The guys on his resume, Shane Mosley was 38 years old, clearly past his prime. The reflexes were not there. Anybody that saw Shane Mosley in his prime knows how great Shane Mosley was. When you're as great as Floyd, these opponents, even though they have the names, they're not the type that are going to test Floyd's greatness. They're not the type that are going to test Floyd, at least not at that point of their careers. So when you fight less and you're fighting once a year, twice a year, that is going to increase your chances of staying undefeated. It's not just going to increase your chances of staying undefeated. It's going to increase your chances of having better performances. And that is what people look at when you're in the ring. And then you retire, and that's the image that people have of you. So nobody cares. For example, if you look at what's kind of crazy about Floyd's legacy for me, or his career, is that after De La Hoya, he had the bigger names, right? But prior to De La Hoya, the names, he didn't have those Hall of Fame type names, but he probably had the most difficult fights. Castillo was a difficult fight. Zab Judah was a difficult fight. Emmanuel Augustus Corley hurt Floyd Mayweather. There was fights where he struggled a lot more when he was in the lower weight classes than when he actually had the Hall of Fame names. And it's because, in my opinion, it's partly because he was fighting fighters that were more live in the moment. They were more in the moment. They were sharper. Wow, the second half of his career, he had the bigger names. But, you know, it's just hard for me to really have a good idea of how good Floyd was. So whenever you bring up, you know, people present these comparisons and say, can he be better than Canelo? Can Canelo be better than this guy? It's almost impossible. It's impossible to tell because they all have different careers. They have different careers.
Fair point. Stephen, what do you make of it? What do you think?
Well, kind of. I think just like my man just said, he's partially right. For the most part, he's right on everything. Early Floyd, when he was Pretty Boy, he was a straight up killer. He took on all comers. But he got to a point to where when he fought Oscar, he said, you know, fuck it. You know, I'm the money man now. Why do I need to risk anything? And so he took those easy fights. You seen his style change in the ring. He was no longer that beast. You know, he fought Shane when Shane was at his prime. Because, you know, early Shane Mosley would have murked Floyd. So I'm of the same train of thought, man. I think that what my man just got through saying, I think everything he was saying is spot on. You know, early Pretty Boy Floyd, that was the killer. But this, you know, once he became Money Mayweather, man, I don't know, man. He was just gifted a whole lot of fights. Maidana, Castillo, it's, you know, all those fights, man. So yeah, you're right.
But Stephen, here's the thing: when we say like, who like Mike pointed out, who was there really there at that he'd really avoid? Like, who did he avoid? Do you reckon? Manny Pacquiao was one that I think he should have happened in 2010. But there was that issue about, you know, he didn't want Manny to take. He wanted Manny to take whatever. You know, there was all that shenanigans about why that fight didn't happen. But
I mean, he could have fought Keith Thurman. You know, he could have fought. Keith was a beast, man.
He could have fought Kell Brook.
Yeah. He could have fought Kell Brook. You know, I mean, sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade. Now, I'm not gonna jump on the band, you know, and roll with the wave and say that Floyd is the greatest ever, because he's not. Because he avoided fights. He does the same type of shit Canelo's doing now. That's why I said earlier that Floyd is the original version of the current Canelo. All that jumping up and down the weight class and weight classes, picking your fights. You know what I'm saying? When you got Benavidez, you got Boo Boo Andrade there. You got
no, but hold on.
Charlo.
See, now I can't agree with that, because now
okay.
My main issue with Floyd is when we're talking about the biggest names, like fighting the biggest guys in a certain weight class. So I'm not gonna give him a pass for not wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao, especially when he was the bigger guy. That's embarrassing. You can't. How the hell do you call yourself TBE and you don't want to fight the smaller guy? I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't see a Chavez Sr., a De La Hoya, a Duran, a Tommy Hearns pass on a fight against a multi-million-dollar fight where both guys were going to make $100 million at least, when they're fighting a smaller guy. Anybody would be licking their chops to fight a Manny Pacquiao knowing that he's smaller. Floyd Mayweather instead said, no, you know what? I'm going to accuse this dude of PEDs, even though I have no proof whatsoever. I'm going to defame him. I'm going to make the fight harder to make. I'm going to ask for this. All of a sudden, Floyd Mayweather became a PED expert. You know, the guy can barely read and write, and all of a sudden he's a scientist, all right? So he's started accusing him of PEDs. Then after they agreed on that, then he said, you know what? No, I'm not going to give you this per split now, because I make this, I make that. We can't let that shit slide anymore, dude. Like, these guys, it's a sport. It's a sport. These guys have to fight each other. What's happening between Spence and Crawford, it's also a disgrace. But now, let's say, I'm going to go back to the Canelo point that you made. Canelo's in a similar position than Floyd in terms of him being a cash cow. I get that. But there is no way, bro, that you cannot tell me that when Canelo was at 154, he didn't fight the best guys. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He was the underdog. He fought Austin Trout. A lot of people thought it was a 50-50 fight. He fought Erislan De Lara, a fight. Those are three fights, bro, that a lot of people would look at and say, they're too slick. They're too difficult. I don't want to fight none of these guys. He then moved up to 160. During that time, all right, at 160, he fought the Boogeyman and Triple G twice. He fought that Daniel Jacobs, who was considered either the third best or the second best middleweight. He fought him after that. Now he went all the way up to 175. He didn't have to do that. Can
I say something real quick?
Hold on.
Can I say? Go ahead.
Finish the whole thing, and then you could respond or counter whatever you want to counter. He went all the way to 175. He didn't have to do that. He went all the way to 175. People are going to say, well, he picked on Kovalev. All right, that's cool. But it's still a 175 guy. He wanted to be a 4-division champion. How many 160s? You think Andre, the guy you brought up, he can't even fight guys in his own weight class. You think he was going to go to 175 and challenge Kovalev? Just challenge him? No, it wasn't going to happen. So he's at 160 right now, right? And now he's at 168. He's trying to clean the division, right, and be undisputed. After that, there's no telling what Canelo could do. Canelo could still fight Charlo. He's only 30 years old. They're around the same age. He could still fight Benavidez. Shit, he could even still fight Andrade. If Andrade gets under his skin enough, like Lara did, Canelo's the type of dude that he might say, you know what? Fuck this dude. This fucker's annoying me already. I'm going to fucking fight his ass. But why will we use Andrade as an example to say that that's what Floyd does my problem with Floyd is the biggest names, bro. Andrade, have you seen Andrade's resume, dog? Have you seen Andrade's resume?
Yeah. He got a good resume. He's all, you know, got all wins. But here's what I was gonna say about Canelo. Eris Larolandi, that was a loss. That was a for sure loss, man. That's beside
the point, brother. That's beside the
point. But listen, just hear me out. Just hear me out. It's the same shit. It's the same shit that happened with Floyd. He was gifted certain fights, kept on propelling them. Every time you're gifted a fight, every time you get a W on your resume, on your record, man, that further strengthens your name. And so it's a psychosomatic. It has a psychosomatic effect on fans in general, because they don't watch boxing like us, like we watch it, like hardcore fans. They don't know how to technically break down a fight, and so all they see and hear is that, you know, he Canelo beat Triple G. What is that doing for his stock? That's further empowering him. So when he's going up and down in weight classes and he's picking these fights, hell, shit. I mean, I can't really say that they ain't the same Kovalev that fought Andre SOG Ward.
Right. No,
you
of
know.
course not. But let me just say something real quick to counter that real quick. The way I do it, this is the way I do it, bro. When I look at judging is way too subjective for me. Like, way too subjective. It's not like basketball where it's like 100 beats 99. There's no debate. It's way too subjective. So if a fight is close enough where the majority of people say, you know what's a close fight, I don't care who gets the win or who gets the loss. That's the way I look at it. It has to be a massive a robbery for me to have for me to complain about the result of a fight, because we see on a weekly basis, whether it's the media, whether it's fans on Twitter, whether even if it's the people that are calling the damn fight, we see crazy scorecards all the time. We see disparities in scorecards all the time, and that's because everyone has their own way of judging fights. So the Lara fight, for example, if you on a personal level feel that he lost the fight, then that's cool. I respect your opinion. But the debate that we were having was based on whether he's taking on the best fighters. That's the debate.
I say he's not.
Hey guys,
who's that?
Hey guys, I wanted to clarify something.
Yeah, go on.
So when I said that Canelo it's greater than Duran or Floyd, I didn't say it like that. I said it like, at this moment right now, Duran and Floyd are better than Canelo, are greater than Canelo. But when he retires, now we have to judge it, you know. But at this moment, I would say Duran and Floyd are better than Canelo. Not Canelo are better than them too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, Duran. Yeah. You know, Duran. People rate Duran higher than Sugar Ray Leonard. I've seen all-time great lists, and Duran is rated very high. He's rated in a lot of people's top 5 of all time. Duran is he's a legend, because let's not forget, out of all of those 4 kings, Hagler, Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran was the smallest guy. Duran was a very small guy. He started his career at 135 at lightweight, and he moved up to 160. You know, so Duran was.
Did you guys hear me? Right? You guys heard me?
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I do agree. Duran was a smaller guy. That's why on when we're talking about pound for pound, a lot of people have Duran rated very highly. Like have him ranked a lot of people have him ranked in top 5 of all time. Pound for
pound, he's up there.
Say that again. Yeah. Say that again.
I said pound for pound, he's definitely up there.
Yeah. That's what I'd agree. In terms of Stephen, just to ask you a question about Andrade. Obviously, there's a lot of claim that Andrade, you know, Canelo's ducking Andrade. He don't want to fight him. Obviously, they had that back and forth, you know, Canelo and Andrade. If Canelo was to fight Andrade, do you think Andrade beats Canelo? What's your opinion?
I think Andrade's style is I think right now, you know, you were to put him in the ring right now, Canelo's a little bit too big, but if they were to fight at, you say, you know, saying 168, I just think that Boo Andrade, man, he just, man, his skills are just impeccable, man. I know Canelo could thump and everything. I just don't see it. I just don't see it that way. He gonna be in there for it. He gonna be in there with a for real ass killer in Boo Andrade.
I don't bet. I hate betting. But I would bet that Canelo would stop Andrade.
Yeah,
I agree with that too.
I've seen Andrade fight guys who can't punch, bro, and they hurt him.
Yeah, Williams gave Andrade a lot of trouble in the last fight. Williams is a good, solid fighter here in the UK, but I thought Williams wobbled him a couple of times, but staggered him, and he didn't look great in that fight. And Canelo's a different level to Williams. I honestly, Steven, you know, Andrade's resume is very shaky, man. Very, very shaky. Literally 33 years of age, and he's not really fought. Like I can't. I don't know how he's not fought. Like even like I don't even know what his best win is. Is it Selecki? Is it like his resume is not great? So when you say he's a killer, I don't know. Like what are you basing that off? I don't know. It's like Crawford's got a way better resume.
I'm basing off of his fights, but yeah, I mean, I agree with with y'all, pretty much. I mean, shit. I mean, you really can't say, that Boo Boo Andrade's resume is that, eye popping. You don't.
Yeah.
But I'm just going off the the basic eye test. I mean, that dude's a savage. If that motherfucker come in and if he comes in and he's tuned up and he's focused, that motherfucker's a problem, man.
Steven,
I'm telling you, that dude's a problem.
I think that Charlo versus Andre. I think Charlo will beat Andre in my opinion. Well. Jamal, Jamal.
Steven,
what do you think?
Who else would you want? Who else would you want Canelo to fight? I'm just curious, other than Andre.
I would like to see.
I would like to see him fight Benavidez. I know Benavidez. He'll smash Canelo.
I think that fight happens next year. I think that fight happens next year.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think Benavidez will beat Canelo, man.
You don't think that? Why not? Why don't you think?
I think Canelo's just too experienced for Benavidez. We keep on forgetting that Benavidez is 24 years old. He's still young. He's still maturing. And Canelo's like 30, and he has fought, everybody already. So I would say the experience, and not just the experience, I would say Canelo's just the better boxer as well. Benavidez is, and don't get me wrong, he's big. He's like 6'2", and he's strong as well. But I think Canelo, he's very, very skillful. I think he will. I don't think he will stop him, but I think he will beat him on points.
Man, you think Canelo would beat Benavidez on points? You actually think that?
So. I think so, man.
I can't do nothing but respect that, man.
Yeah, that's a safe bet. I would go with that. That's a safe bet. If he would knock out Benavidez, that would be impressive. But I would say it would be a decision as well. But just to end it, because I have to leave. I have to leave. I wanna thank you guys for letting me get in the stream and the debate. But just to kind of like get my overall points, I'll let you guys go. I think Steven, with the points that he brought up, he brought a lot of great points. So I want to give him credit. But just say my last point, Steven, what he was bringing up at Andre is kind of like the reason why I joined the stream. With he just gave us a perfect example of what I mean by perception, right? So based on what he sees, he thinks Andre is a monster, right? So that's my point. That's how that relates to what I was saying about Floyd, who obviously has a way better resume than Andre. I'm not comparing them in terms of legacy, but on different levels, we see this happen a lot in boxing, where you're seeing it with Crawford, we've seen it with Floyd, where perception matters a lot. Sometimes you don't even have to fight great opposition, and some people are going to think that you're as good as Sugar Ray Leonard or these guys. So in order for you to have a great idea on how good you are, you need to challenge yourself to the max. And that's all I have to say, man. Thank you guys.
Mike, just a quick one before you go. Floyd and Crawford, even Crawford's resume is not great, but Crawford has a way better resume than Andre. Like it's not like Andre.
Oh yes, by far.
Great fight. Crawford has good, great fighters probably past their prime, or good fighters past their prime, right? He's got big names. Andre's got how many former world champions? Like Crawford's beaten. He beat Khan, he beat Brook, he beat Postal, he beat Gamboa. All these guys in their prime were good
division champion, undisputed. Yeah,
exactly. Undisputed.
He's got way more.
Exactly.
Andre has a type of resume that you see with like fighters that are barely starting their careers. Like you look at his resume and you're just like, who is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? And then on top of that, he was fighting once a year. Again, what I was mentioning earlier, he was fighting once a year for many, many years. And that's how these guys stay undefeated. That's how these guys try to increase their stock so that people can say, look, the guy's undefeated. I haven't lost. I have 30 fights. The guy's 33 years old. I've seen fighters of his style. Aries Landelar is a perfect example, because Andre's gonna go out and say, "Well, they're ducking me. Nobody wants to give me a chance." That's bullshit. Because I've seen guys like Aries Landelar. I've seen guys that he got the Canelo fight. He fought Austin Trout. He fought what's his name? Carlos, or I think it was Carlos Ortiz. He fought what's his face? The guy that was paralyzed. He fought Sergio Martinez too. Paul Williams. He fought Aries Landelar had a bunch of fights with solid names behind him. So
you
I don't
right
always
about
buy
that
excuse. I don't buy that.
You right about that. I was gonna say, man, you right about that. Boo Boo need to get his ass in there. He need to start fighting some quality opposition, because
he needs to fight Charlo, bro. That's the fight I want to see. That's the fight
talking about him and Eubank. Andrade might.
Oh, that's a good fight. That's a good fight.
Yeah,
that would be his best fight by far.
Yeah, that's a tough fight. Yeah, good fight.
Hey guys, I have to leave. Imran, I have to leave. Thank you, man. Thank you for the live chat, for the live.
No worries, man.
You guys have a good one.
Peace, my dude.
Peace. Take care, Troy.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care, bro. Care. I'm out too, man.
Yeah, Mike. Take care.
It was nice chatting with you guys. Maybe I'll join you guys some other time. Peace.
Take care.
Yeah.
See you later, man. See you later. So, Steven, are you still here?
I'm still here with you, my man.
Yeah. So yeah, coming back to what do you make, just to come on to the topics of Teofimo and George Kambosos? Are you a bit upset about that fight falling through?
Yeah, man, I am, man, because man, I'm not like a lot of people, man. I see a lot of promise in Kambosos. And I was really anxious to see what George. I like his fighting style, man. I like his ferocious approach to his opponents. And I just saw that was gonna be. I'm not saying that he was gonna beat Teofimo, but I saw it was gonna be one hell of a fight, man. Did they reschedule it? When is it?
Yeah,
when is it?
August 14th. August 14th.
Yeah, man. I like Kambosos, man. What you think about Kambosos?
Yeah, Kambosos, man, I like him as well, man. The guy's got good hand speed. I like George Kambosos as well. I think Lopez has explosive power, though. I think Lopez is very explosive, but I think Kambosos, if he can avoid those big shots and take it to a decision, I think he could nick a decision. It'd be close, but I do favor Lopez by stoppage late.
Yeah, like you said, Lopez got that pop. He got that one hitter quitter. He hit you, and
you're out.
Shit, you're out. I mean, the lights out. I mean, you going night.
Yeah, exactly. What did you make of his fight against Loma?
Man, I think he just outclassed Loma. You know what, man? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell the truth. I was off on the Boo Boo Andrade thing, because y'all made some good points. He ain't got no resume or nothing like that. You can't put him up there, period. But with Loma, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's a lot of shit that go on in boxing, man. And Loma had a name. He had a name. It was kind of like almost like it's almost like Canelo shit, man. It's like they have this certain crop of chosen fighters that they say, hey, we're gonna propel these guys to the top. I always saw through Loma. I knew Loma was gonna get watched by Teofimo. Why? Because Teofimo is not only does he have that pop, but he's extremely skilled. He's nothing to play with. And it was only a matter of time before I knew Loma was gonna get exposed. Just like I know Canelo's gonna get exposed. Now I know if he fights Benavidez, if he fights Caleb Plant, he's gonna get exposed. I'm telling you now. But that's what I thought about the Loma fight. What did you think about it?
I think Loma, in terms of the fight, I think it was a close fight. I think 7-5. I think they had it like 7-5. I thought it was close. I think Loma's small guy. He's a featherweight, really, 126. He's moved up to 135. And I don't think this isn't a guy that, can move up several weight classes like Pacquiao. This is a guy that is not is not big 135. Yeah, he's still outclassed a lot of 135s. By the way, I still think Loma can beat a lot of the guys. I think Lopez would be a problem, but I don't think Lopez wants that rematch with Lomachenko as well, which I would like to see. I'd like to see him fight Lomachenko again. Because if like you're saying, Lopez is just way better than Loma, and he feels that way, then I would like to see that rematch, because that first fight for me was quite close. Right, I think Loma didn't do a lot in the first half of the fight. In the second half of the fight, I thought Loma won a lot of the rounds. So I would love to see that rematch. I don't know what you make. I would love to see that.
Well, I was just gonna say, and Ryan, I was just gonna say real quick, man.
Yeah,
Teofimo to me is a natural born athlete. He's naturally strong. He has all these innate gifts of athleticism. He's cock strong, man, and he on top of that, he's skilled. I just don't see it ending very well and especially in the second fight. The second fight always goes badly for the opponent, that's trying to redeem themselves. Here's the thing. Loma's in a precarious situation because, like you said, he is a small guy. He's small in stature, everything. Loma's, I wouldn't even want to see him in there with Tank. You know what I'm saying? If he was, trying to go up in weight, or if Tank was, if they were to fight at a catch weight, that'd be murder. I mean, I don't see him in there with Shakur. He's way too skilled for Loma. Loma is just in a bad situation right now. And, they need to do some, they kind of need to, do some reevaluating as to where his career is gonna go. What you say?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I have like I still think I rate Lomachenko, man. I think he's a great fighter. Like, he's moved up the weight classes. This is a guy that fought for a world title in his first fight, or was it second fight, and he lost. And then he became world champion in his third fight. I know he had a lot of amateur fights and he was a great amateur, but this is a guy that's taken on he's taken on everybody, even Teofimo. He didn't have to. He could have stayed at 126 and kept dominating at 126. No one was going to beat him at 126. Do you know what I mean? But he decided to move up and take the challenge, and he wanted to be on this fight.
Ain't he fighting Nakatani?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Man, that's a bad fight for him, man. I like Nakatani.
Yeah. That was Lopez struggled against Nakatani. That was a hard fight. Yeah. Did you watch Lopez beat Nakatani?
Man, boy, I'm trying to tell you, man. Not that's a hard fight for Loma. This is gonna be a good barometer to gauge where he's gonna go after this fight with Nakatani.
But don't you think, though, Stephen, this is what I mean? Loma takes on, like you just said, he fought Lopez, and then he could have had an easy gimme fight, but he isn't. He's going straight into a Nakatani fight, which is a tough fight, as you just said.
Yeah. That's definitely gonna be. That's definitely showing me that he ain't no sucker. That he ain't just finna lay down and just be a bitch about it. He's choosing to go out like a gangster, like a soldier, and I can respect that. We'll see what happens if he goes out there and gets bullied and manhandled and pummeled by Nakatani. Then I can come back on here, y'all say, well, Steve, you were wrong. You were wrong about Loma. You owe him a apology. But I just, man, this is a good fight, man, because I love Nakatani. And that fight with Teofimo, that was a questionable decision.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was. I agree. What do you make of Fury Wilder, man? The third trilogy. I think the press conference is going on now. What do you make of that fight? Who do you think? Who you got?
I see at this point, man. I almost kind of feel sorry for Deontay. Say obviously I'm black. I'm African American, and I always want to support my people. But check it out, man. He has no business in there with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury training out of the Crunk Gym. He's a product of the great Emmanuel Stewart. He's just too much. He's just too much for Deontay, man. He pissing in the wind, man. At this point, he just needs to, like I said, there's certain fighters that you gotta say, hey, these guys need to reevaluate the direction of their career. These fighters are the likes of Loma, Deontay Wilder. Who else? Who else would you say is a fighter that needs to, that needs to
You mean
reevaluate
like
their career?
at the stage of their career where they're like, where do they go?
Yeah. Who else would you say?
Well, there's probably Mikey Garcia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where after the Errol Spencer fight, he's fought Jesse Vargas, but we don't know where he's going. There's who else is there? There's Golovkin, I would say. I don't know, like he's fighting Murata, so that's unification, but I'd like to see Golovkin fight Charlo or Andrade. There's who else is there? Like we saw Linares take on Haney, he's another one. Maybe Broner.
Broner, yeah, Broner definitely. I was gonna ask you about you mentioned what's my man's name? Not Mikey Garcia, but who else? Who'd you name after that?
Who did I name after that? Can't remember. Mikey Garcia. Who was it? Who did I say? Golovkin.
Damn, who did you say? Oh, Golovkin. Yeah, man. I want to make a point about that, man. His story is different to me. Gennady Golovkin was a victim of circumstance. He was a victim of the system. Because in my heart of heart, I think, I know my man said that you got to look, the way you see it is the way you see it. The way who you determine to be the victor is subjective. But in my heart of hearts, man, he was robbed, man. He was robbed those 2 fights, and his career ain't never been the same since then. And that I just think that's so heartbreaking because Gennady was a killer, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was, man. He was. I thought he beat Canelo the first fight. I thought the first fight I definitely had him winning that one. The second fight I thought Canelo nicked it, but it was close. But the first fight, man, that was harsh. You know what I mean? That was harsh, man. Really harsh.
Yeah, he was never the same after that, man.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, that takes a lot
That's
out
why
of
they
you.
need to
Those fights, those were wars, man. Those were hard fights. And remember, he's old.
Yeah.
Golovkin's
he's old, man.
Golovkin's old, man. Golovkin was a lot older than Canelo. So Canelo was a lot younger, he was a lot fresher, as a fighter. Golovkin had a long amateur career, and then as a pro, he had some hard fights, and Golovkin gets hit a lot, he takes a lot of shots, so I feel bad for Golovkin, man. I hear you there, man. Golovkin. I feel like, when you look back at his career, you're going to see like he lost to Canelo where that was his biggest fight, when really he had a draw and he had a loss. It doesn't really reflect. It doesn't really, it doesn't reflect on how great Golovkin was. Do you know what I mean?
I just think the sport of boxing, they owed him more than that. I just think they fucked him over. And he was never the same, after that, man. That breaks my heart, man. One thing about me, I'm gonna call it how I see it, no matter who. If it's a loss, if I see you as having a loss, if I see you as being a ducker, I'm gonna say it. No matter if it's Floyd, no matter if it's Canelo, whoever. But I think, but I salute the killers out there. I salute those gangsters like Gennady. Gennady was prime time to me. And I just hate the way they did him.
Yeah. What about Pacquiao?
Pacquiao, man. Pac-Man. Man, what can I say about Pac-Man? Pac-Man is incredible. Incredible, man. Listen. I've been watching Pac-Man since the beginning. 8 divisions. Man, I was there because, okay, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. The moment this is when I saw that Pac-Man was he was an anomaly. He was a one-off. He was a planet out of orbit. Was when he fought Joshua Hitter Clottey. Man, I thought Joshua Clottey was one of my favorite fighters back then. And the way he went in there and just eviscerated Joshua Clottey, I said, man, listen, Pac-Man is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Before then, he put Ricky Hatton on his back. He was just handing out ass whoopings left and right. You know what I'm saying? So Pac-Man to me he's the greatest fighter, no question. He's the greatest fighter of the last, say, 20, 25 years to me.
Even greater than Floyd?
Even greater than Floyd. Even greater than Floyd. Yep.
Right.
I mean, you know what? The greatness can't be measured by how many, wins you have. The greatness is measured in terms of your attitude, your approach, and your honor. And I think Pac-Man has that. He has that intangible, and then not every fighter has that. Every fighter sees boxing as a business, as a way to make ends meet, and it should be that. But you got a certain few fighters like Gervonta Tank Davis and Pac-Man Pacquiao, those fighters that they'll say, fuck it, I'm here to bang, and we're gonna see who the best man is. That's what boxing is all about to me.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. You're spitting facts there, man. Like a lot of people think. See, the problem is with the Floyd effect, right? Everybody now, all the young fighters want to stay undefeated. So what it is, they don't want to take that risk because they don't want to lose their O. Everyone values that old man too much, and we don't get to see the best fight the best. Like we don't get to see Devin Haney v Teofimo. We don't get to see Teofimo v Ryan Garcia. We don't get to see Ryan Garcia v Lomachenko. Like they don't fight each other, man, and that's the issue I have with boxing. That they're not fighting each other. We don't get to see Crawford v Spence. There's always some kind of excuse about the money. Like you never heard Sugar Ray Tommy Hearns talk about the money, or you never heard you never heard Duran talk about the money with Sugar. They were way bigger names than these guys, way bigger stars when they were fighting. You never heard them talking about money.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And Ron, man, me and you, we the same, man. We love boxing all the same. And we've been there through the Ike Cortez and the Fernando Ferocious Vargas, the Joshua Clottey, Zav Super Judah, Lennox Lewis. I mean, you could just go. I mean, that's what boxing, man. I remember, Friday night fights used to be. It was nothing better than Friday night fights, man. I mean, because you got a chance to engulf yourself in boxing. It's looking at those fights like Emmanuel, Drunken Master Augustus, and Mickey Ward. Man, those fights, man, you can't put a value on those fights, man. I'm telling you.
Back in the day, Stephen, when Riddick Bowe threw his WBC, was it his WBC in the bin or whatever, in order to avoid Lennox Lewis? Look how big a deal that got made at that time, right?
Right.
Look how big that deal. Now it's just common. Now no one says anything because it's just common for fighters not to fight each other. It frustrates me, man. It frustrates me because we don't get to see the best. We don't get to see the best fights. Like Crawford and Spence, man. That's a travesty. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. Like, and you know what worst thing is? If Spence beats Pacquiao, just say, which I don't think is a given. I think Pacquiao could cause an upset, but if Spence does, he's the favorite. If he beats Pacquiao, I don't think we're going to get to see Spence Crawford, because I think Spence is going to say, I want 70-30, and Crawford's going to say, nah, I want 50-50.
Yep. And then Spence is gonna say, Spence is gonna say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go up to 154."
Yeah, that's it.
They do shit like that.
That's what I mean, man. So, what do you think should happen? Do you think what do you think should happen in that situation in order for Spence and Crawford to fight? What do you think the split and stuff? What do you think should happen?
Well, one thing I think needs to happen is they need to consolidate. They just like the NBA. The NBA has it's ran by actual. They have an actual organization that runs in. You got certain team owners and everything, but they have to abide by one standard. They have to abide by one standard. That's what needs to happen with boxing. They need to consolidate all these damn different weight, these different boxing organizations, all these fucking belts, make one belt, and they need to have all these team owners, the team owners like PBC and top ranks and so forth. They need to fall. They need to have a certain criteria, a certain standard that is going to ensure that the fights that need to be made have to be made. There's no sense in all these different belts that the WBA, the IBF, the WBC, WBO, AYZ, and the LGBTQ. It's no need in all that shit. It's kind of muddy in the water. And I just think that they need to handle it from that angle first, and then everything will kind of fall into order. Then another thing that needs to happen is they need to have a certain array of refereeing these fights, or not refereeing, but where they calling the fights, and judges. The judges have to answer to maybe there should be a set of judges to oversee the judging of these fights, because it's a lot of corruption.
James Deere makes a good point. He says you can't consolidate them because they are different parts of the world. The NBA is American law.
Well, I'm just saying that, that would be a good model.
What you're saying. I know where you're getting from. You mean basically they need to get together and make one belt rather than having 4 different sanctioning bodies.
Right.
Yeah, rather than having I agree, man. A lot of people say that they need to have one belt, right, and one champion. Because right now we have 4 champions sometimes in a weight class. Who's the champion?
Yeah. They're just silly. That's silly.
Yeah.
That's silly.
Yeah. I don't know whether we'll ever get Spence Crawford, to be honest with you. I think that might be a fight that might not happen just because I think politics will get in the way. Even if Crawford leaves Top Rank, I still don't see it. I just think that Spence now, if he was to beat Pacquiao, is going to have a very high inflated. By the way, how do you see that Spence Pacquiao fight going, man?
I think I love, like I said, Pac-Man that's my heart, but I think Spence is a little too if you ever look at Spence and his technique and that dude is like the T1 Terminator. I just don't see it happening. I see it being a wash.
Are you seeing it being a one-sided fight?
Kind of like the Mikey Garcia fight.
Do you think it goes the distance?
I think because Spence got blue weight, strength and conditioning. I think we might see the old Spence, man. I think I think Pacquiao might go out on the sword, man. On the shield, sword or shield, or however they say it.
Yeah.
But they ain't ain't taking nothing away.
That'll be horrible. Man. Yeah. I know. I agree, man. I agree. That could happen, especially later on in the fight, because he could get tired as well.
Yeah.
He's 42, man. He's 42. And he's not just that. He's not just 42. He's undersized. Let's not forget, Spence is bigger than him. He's got reach, height, everything. Spence is at his natural weight class. He's got all the advantages, Spence, right now. So I don't know. It's a tough fight for Manny. It's a tough fight. But again, Bob Arum said that Manny Pacquiao is one of those guys that you can't count off. He's just a special type of fighter where you can't ever write him off. But
no, you can't.
I mean,
what I'm saying? I learned my lesson whenever he because I thought Ricky Hatton was gonna give Pac-Man the business, but damn, did you see what he did to Ricky Hatton back in the day?
Man. That wasn't a fight, man. He mismatched. He battered it.
I mean, what about him? Just shit. Not only that, but what about him and Antonio Margarito?
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a beatdown.
Yeah, I mean Joshua Colati,
Miguel Cotto,
Miguel Cotto. I mean, shit. I mean, so what better way is fitting? It's kind of it might sound kind of crazy for me to say this, but this is kind of the way he probably needs to go out. He probably needs to go out on his back because that's the way he lived his career. He was just a straight killer. And that's the way he probably wants to go out. Yeah.
It'd be sad for a lot of fans because obviously a lot of people love Manny Pacquiao, but it's a very strong possibility that he gets knocked out in this fight. And I've never picked against Pacquiao. Apart from, I don't think I've ever picked against Pacquiao. I even thought he'd beat Floyd, to be honest with you. But like, this is the first time where I'm actually not picking him to win. I thought he'd beat Thurman as well, even though a lot of people thought he'd lose to Thurman. I had Pacquiao winning. I thought Pacquiao would beat Thurman, but with this one, I don't think he's going to win. And I'm a massive Pacquiao fan, just like yourself. I'm like a huge Pacquiao fan. But Spence, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see him pulling this one off, man. It's hard. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard, man. I'm going down to Vegas for it. You know.
Oh, are you? You're gonna go? You actually got a ticket for it?
Yeah, I already got my tickets to you know, they really ain't announced the fight where it's gonna be yet, so I ain't got my tickets to the fight. But yeah, as soon as we heard, you know, and me and all my people, we booked our plane tickets and everything, hotel stays. So definitely gonna be up there. You going?
No, I'm from UK, man. We're not even allowed to travel yet.
Oh damn.
So I'm not going to be able to get to America. I'm not even sure if we're allowed to get to America as of right now, because you know, with all the COVID restrictions and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think we can even travel yet to America. So yeah, it's not great at the minute, man. It's not great. I think it will ease up probably by then, but I don't know whether. I don't know. There'll still be a lot of restrictions in place and stuff. You know, what's it like in America? Is there any like?
Shit, in America, everything is kind of, you know, calming down. Everything is kind of, you know, I would venture to say it's damn near like it was pre-COVID.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
you know, yeah. So as you know, I'm from Oklahoma City, and you know, we ain't got no type of restrictions or anything down here. So,
you're all right, man. We're still in restrictions. There's still a lot of restrictions here.
Damn, you know, that's crazy.
And they've delayed it for a month as well.
I was just gonna ask you, so what are y'all numbers looking like though? Is there still a high number of COVID fatalities?
Well, it's increasing again. It's increasing again. So it's increasing because there's this like Indian variant, so it's increasing again. So we got some heavy numbers, man. We got some numbers are increasing, but at the minute it's under control. But they worry about another wave.
Yeah.
It's one of.
I mean, shit, you can't be too careful, man. I mean, I have to wonder, are they, you know? But you know, down, you know, in the States here in America, they've been pushing that. You know, I don't know if y'all got the, you know, they've been pushing the vaccines like they pushing down here.
Oh,
so, you know, they've been pushing that vaccine like you know, like hotcakes on people. And shit. So, you know, people get that vaccine and they think that shit they're impervious to you know, sickness. That's yet to be told. So
I wanted to ask you about, is there any other fights that you're looking forward to before we kind of wrap up? Is there any other fights that you're looking forward to that I forgot to ask you about?
I would like to see a potential fight between Virgil and Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis. I think that's the next wave of welterweights that we need to be on the lookout. That's the next generation. I'd like to see that fight.
Boots Ennis is a monster, man. I like him. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, so is Virgil.
Yeah, Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, he's a very good fighter as well. I think Boots Ennis looks a bit. I think Boots Ennis for me. Who would you favor in that fight?
I would probably favor Boots. You know what I'm saying? Because Boots is, like you said, he's you know, he's a savage.
Yeah,
but
he is.
Virgil ain't no punk. He ain't no hoe.
Yeah. I just think that southpaw. What have you heard of Rashidi Ellis?
Yeah, Rashidi Ellis. Yeah. He awesome too. And there's another dude. There's another welterweight man out there, man. James. You ever seen James Martin fight?
James Martin? No, we haven't heard of James.
He beat Milanicki, whatever his name is.
Who? Say that again.
Okay, James Martin. He just fought Milanicki. You know who Milanicki is, don't you?
No, Milanicki.
Am I saying his name? I don't think I'm saying his name right. But
James Martin.
James Martin.
Let me get his box record. 1 sec. James Martin, welterweight. Vito Mielicki Jr.
Yeah. That Milanicki dude
got 2 losses. He's got 2 losses? He's had 9 fights.
But he beat Milanicki, and that dude, man, just just try to catch that his highlights of that fight, and he's pretty good, man. He shows a lot of promise. Those 2 losses. This another thing I was gonna say. I'm not too big on the losses and your resume and everything like that. Anderson Silva had losses on his record, but he went on to be one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time.
Yeah. See, UFC and boxing have a different culture. It's like boxing fans, you see a couple of losses on there, and you're like, oh, this guy's like, they call him a bum and stuff, right? On UFC, they can have like 11 losses, 10 losses, and they still people view him as killers. It's just the boxing fans and the MMA fans have different mindsets.
Yep, they do. The UFC fans have the UFC fans are the UFC people. They have the mindset that we used to have as boxing fans.
Yes,
we used to have that. We didn't give a fuck about marvelous hitman, marvelous Marvin Hagler's resume. We just seen that motherfucker on we just seen that he was a killer. That's all we cared about.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I totally agree, man. They fight whoever, man. They fight whoever. They don't do that anymore. But you know what, Stephen, man, it was really nice speaking to you, man. I'm gonna be doing live streams quite regular. Come on whenever you want to.
All right, my man. All right, I'll check you out, man.
I appreciate you being on. I'm gonna be doing a lot of live streams, right? So whenever you want to come on, just come on. If you're in the live stream, I'll send you the link and just pop on, man.
Okay, cool. And Ron, take care, man.
Take care, Stephen, man. Take care. It was great talking to you.
All right, bet.
Take care. All right, guys, that's Stephen. That was a great chat. Guys, I've got to make some moves. It was a great live stream. I appreciate all of you that were in the live stream. And yeah, I'll be doing my live streams. I've been really busy of late. Really busy, so I've not managed to do as many live streams as I would like. But yeah, I will be doing more live streams, guys, and I will be answering your questions. When I get into these debates, sometimes it's hard to answer these questions, man. But yeah, I appreciate everyone being in the live stream. Take care, everyone. Take care, and I will see you guys. I will see you guys in the next live stream, or whenever I do the next live. Hopefully, I'll do another live stream tomorrow. Let's see what happens. But maybe there'll be something about this Fury Wilder stuff to report on. But yeah, take care, everyone. And I will see you all in the next live stream. Take care, guys.